Alright guys, we're back for another Dokkan battle video. So we are in June here, right? Traditionally June is a pretty slow month. Because global, right, this is kind of like a little bit of a lull period before global gets into, anniversary, and then worldwide where things are crazy for global Dokkan, right? JP typically is a little quiet in June as well, leading into Tanabata, right, and then eventually worldwide as well. This month there's even more kind of like uncertainty because the Dragon Ball Super Superhero movie comes out next week, and it's just sort of, again, uncertain everything that's going to happen, right? Like, traditionally, Tanabata is a DOKKANFEST LR, right? And then Yellow Coin LR. It very well could just be a dual DOKKANFEST this year. Like, we don't know, right? Like, I actually can't promise what the schedule's going to look like. I assume an LR Golden Frieza is going to drop next week, but for all we know, it could be movie characters. Like, there's not really like too much consistency, I think, and what we can expect to happen. For all we know, there could be a dual DOKKANFEST on Global and JP in like 3 weeks, right? Or something. Like, it could happen. I don't know. Well, I don't know. They're probably not going to do a dual DOKKANFEST for Global right before anniversary, right? But weird stuff certainly could happen. Now, I think June is a good time to do sort of like a bunch of like tier lists and stuff like this anyway, kind of like the halfway point of the year. I do probably want to make the TUR tier list, probably a monthly thing. The only thing is that now we're not going to get another TUR and JP until basically the end of July, start of August. So it's going to be quite a long time, probably, unless the movie stuff is TUR. So again, it's hard to say this year, I guess. Now, we're going to do the red coin LR list. Typically what I do is I will sort kind of like by like, I'll separate like easy and non-easy. But I feel as though I'm going to do that certainly for regular TURs. I think for LRs though, I'll keep easy A, like this is just red coin LRs, right? But I'm mixing in, the 4 easy A ones right here, the Super Saiyan 4s, and then the fusions, that easy 8, right? Now, I'll tell y'all this. The TUR list, to me, I feel very confident in. Like, I could argue for hours about a lot of the placements. I feel like some characters, right, people are, like, going crazy about physical Super Saiyan 3 Goku, right? Like, a lot of people are talking about, like, I'd have him 1 or here, stuff like that. And it's like, I want to be like, well, you guys are overrating him. But then it's like, no, I don't. Physical Super Saiyan 3 Goku is that good, right? Like, I think a lot of the TURs are very well designed, and I think a lot of them actually do have pretty strong cases for being, like, number 1 or 2 or 3. Like, the top 7 or so TURs, I think there's many situations that make them interchangeable with good designs, blah, 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 blah. Here, I feel like it's a bit more, there's gaps in power of just like these units that get like sort of like power crept by certain things or bad design choices or whatever. The TUR list, again, it just, I don't know, it feels better to me. Like this, the way this looks, because I sat here for quite a while and I was kind of like arranging them. Keep in mind that when I do this, I'm basing it mostly on red zone. That's what matters, right? Like, it's like, you could say, well, not only the red zone matters. Okay, dude, yeah. The legendary Goku event, so tough, right? Like, what do you want to say, man? The other thing, too, is that, obviously, I evaluate units based on no items, which is really big when we get to the unit I have at 10, Str Super Vegito, right here. The problem with STR, people are crying already. Like, this unit is so beloved. I get it, right? This is still insane. The turn 4 fusion, which is very easy to do. Turn 4 under 77% HP. Typically, when you need it, you'll be able to get that. I guess you could potentially get cucked where you're perpetually above this HP level. It could happen, I guess. But, you transform, you get the heal, you get the scouter, blah, blah, blah. The problem is that this guy, like, what makes this guy, like, still the most impressive offensive unit, I think he's probably still the most impressive offensive unit in the game, requires him to take hits. So it's like, if you're using a Whis or something like that, like, yeah, dude, he looks great. But guess what? I'm not evaluating this on items. I'm evaluating this if you're going in without items. And thus, this guy can't take hits. I think you can skillfully use him in a lot of these red zone stages, right? You know, the scouter, the heal, and stuff like that is still very powerful. This guy, like, sort of allows you to go, because Red Zone, you only get one item. He allows you to bring, like, a Whis, right? And then it's like, you know, you pop that, you do the fusion, bam, you're out with Super Vegito, and then, you know, you could just, like, counter the enemy to death quickly. And then the thing that's good about a lot of these fusion, like DOKKANFEST LRs, is they're all healing you when they fuse, which is really good for Red Zone. But I would put Str Super Vegito at 10. People are going to keep crying here because I have Buhan at 9. I don't have any issue putting Buhan above Vegito. Buhan at the start of it is dead. You have to play so cautiously with this Buu right at the start. But, you know, as the fight goes on, he can really, like, sort of, like, come into his own with his defensive stacking. And then once he transforms, he's got big bad bosses, right? He can work very effectively with Kid Buu. I mean, sure, the big thing you could say with Buhan and Kid Buu is that they don't really have the greatest team right now. But, like, you know, you could go in with, like, a double Buhan Majin power team, and you could beat a lot of these tough Red Zone stages. You could. Especially with Kid Buu on there, right? Like, you can do that. So, I don't actually have an issue putting Buhan above Vegito. Vegito is just, he's just a glass cannon. It's like, you pop a Whis, sure, you're good. Him with no items, good luck. You know, and that's, again, that's what makes him devastating, is him taking hits and countering. If he can't take hits, he can't counter. So that's why he's down this low. Next, we have the physical 3rd year anniversary Gogeta. This unit is good. Definitely good. But both the Int Vegito and this physical Gogeta have this issue in base where they're just not good enough. Like, this is not good enough for their easy A. I don't think so, no. Defensively, they're just not strong enough, right? I don't know why they couldn't have just, if this unit just got the damage reduction that, like this unit, right? They've got 30% damage reduction. Like, dude, if this unit, get rid of this medium chance to crit right here. If you swap that for 30% damage reduction, and then they also have a 30% chance to dodge with this, dude, I'd like this unit a lot better. I would like them, that would be crazy. They'd be really good. They still struggle for ki too. It's just, you're not consistently hitting that 18 ki super attack with them unless you got a ton of rainbow orbs. Now, when you transform into Gogeta, you get the full heal, which is so good in Red Zone, right, where you've got one item. And it, you know, notice all these fusion characters again. You could run this full fusion team where you get 4 fuses off that full heal you, and, you know, you're just using, like, Whis items. Definitely a legitimate strat that works very well. But this guy is just not good enough fused. It's crazy. He is super effective against all types, sure, right? 200% attack and defense is fine. Guaranteed crit and high chance to dodge for his first 3 turns. It's just like, that's not good enough. It's not. Like, when they do this with these Gogeta and Vegetos, where Vegito is, like, countering, and then they just give, like, Gogeta, like, super effective against all types or crits, it doesn't match up to the Vegito units at all. It does not. I think this guy, for sure, he should have had damage reduction as well. And the height, like, lose the crit and give him 50% damage reduction. And now we're talking. So if he was super effective against all types, 50% damage reduction, 50% chance to dodge. Now we're talking. That, to me, what did Gogeta do when Janemba came out? Like when Gogeta came out? He just stood there while Janemba did nothing. Like, Janemba hit him and Gogeta just didn't even move, right? Damage reduction makes sense. Not this. I don't know. I don't know. They could have made this unit a lot better. This unit is one of the biggest disappointments ever for me, actually. But I do feel like he's a step above Buhan. All right, so next we have the LR Tech Gogeta here. Now, yes, after Red Zone and the Anniversary Power Creep, I absolutely am putting the Tech Gogeta in front of Str Vegito. It pains me to do so because this is the worst transformation condition. I would, For Red Zone, this is like the worst transformation condition in the game. It is so frustrating playing around this. Typically, in order to even do this in Red Zone, unless you're, spamming items just to get this transformation off, you have to pair this character with, like, Tech Kefla or one of these 3rd year anniversary fusions. This just doesn't, like, you just don't really do this easily, right? It doesn't come that easy fusing into this Tech Gogeta. Another thing that makes Tech Gogeta really helpful, again, Red Zone really matters. The toughest fight in the game against Broly cancels dodge. You cannot dodge him. And then his strongest phase is AGL. So that allows this Tech Gogeta to have a very effective role against the hardest fight in the game, right? Because if you get the transformation off with this guy, it is so helpful getting his Scouter for AoE Broly and then AGL Broly who double supers many turns. So it's like this guy's Scouter can be very effective. The problem is that, he does have his 30% damage reduction, but his start of turn defense is just not enough. This guy gets cut up even with the damage reduction. His defense, again, just not really high enough at the start of turn. This character this is not even a year old yet. This character, like, this design, because a lot of times people will say, like, I nitpick characters and stuff like that, but, like, I point out these flaws in these characters, and so fast, I always end up right about a lot of these characters. LR Tape and Minosha, LR Super 17. Remember, I was talking about this with this Tech Gogeta. Last year when he dropped, I said he wasn't good enough defensively. Like, these things, like, manifest, right? Like, I'm not just talking out of my ass. I do play the game 24/7. I know what I'm talking about in a lot of instances. This guy should be better. I don't understand. I swear, the reason they made these Gogetas underwhelming is because they knew what the 7th anniversary was. It's like, yeah, these two, we don't want them to be so crazy because Gogeta's the top unit in the game ×2 anyway, right? We'll get there, but that's gotta be it. It's like they didn't want, like, the 4 best units in the game to be Gogeta, I guess. I don't know. But they sabotaged these two. This guy could be very helpful, but he should be better. And again, Str Vegito is just, you can't put him in front of hits in the Red Zone. In tough stages, you can't. Unless you have items up, like, no, it's not happening. Next I have Namek Goku. Namek Goku, boy, this is a character that I'm very ready to scream mega overrated. Because I see people talking about this guy. He doesn't have a 200% leader skill right now. And people saying, like, oh, Namek Goku will be the best unit in the game with a 200% leader skill. No, he will not. No, he won't. Because a 200% leader skill does not give this guy enough start of turn defense to be a mega sonic killer, right? Like, you'll point out, oh, he stacks defense. It's not enough in Red Zone. Like, these fights, like, I have so many clips I've tweeted out of Namek Goku getting exposed in the Red Zone. Because, again, his defense is just not good enough, right? A big thing with this guy and Full Power Frieza is you put them in slot 1, they get hit, and then they do a guaranteed additional super. They aren't good enough defensively a lot of times, Namek Goku or Full Power Frieza. Unless they have type advantage in that stage, you're not putting them in slot 1. So you're running them as a slot 2 or 3 character that you're essentially just having stacked. This guy can do really good damage, but this is not like one of the top 5 units in the game or a contender at all to be a top 5 unit in the game. No way. He's not. No, he's just not. Like, he's too fraudulent. Like, in any tough fight, if he gets supered, you lose. That's it. If the enemy chooses to super him, you've lost. Right? You can say whatever you want to about, like, UI Goku. That is not true with UI Goku. 70% of the time, Janemba, Super 17, Omega Shenron, these bosses in the Red Zone, Namek Goku gets killed instantly one-shot for 1,000,000 damage. UI Goku 70% of the time is dodging and not dying, right? Like, I'm taking UI Goku over this guy every single day. This guy is not... They didn't give him enough defense at the start of turn is the problem. I do think the 200% leader skill will help this guy by giving him more start of turn defense, but it's not enough. Because, again, people are under the assumption that this character is competing for the top spot in the game, and he is not at all. No way. All right, so we have our boy Namek Goku. Next up, we have Int Vegito. This is a very angry tier list, huh? All right, so next we have Int Vegito. Just like the physical Gogeta, this base form is underwhelming, for sure. The one thing, though, is that this guy's got 16,000 defense. Take a look at physical Gogeta. Well, I mean, theirs is still pretty high, too, but that nearly 16,000 defense definitely does help. Defensively, I would say, in base, not really good enough. Same thing, get rid of this crit chance and give him damage reduction, and the unit is a lot better, I think. The difference, though, is that this Vegito is very good, because, guess what? He gets damage reduction, right? And he's got 200% defense with the nearly 16,000 defense. So this guy can actually take hits from high-level red zone bosses after you fuse, and he can dish out these counters. And, 6 turns in, when you fuse, it's a full heal, right? This guy is, I think, really impressive. This Super Vegito right here. There's a reason that's his pose, because it's, my cock is ready to be sucked by any of you red zone bosses, because he comes out and he just shits on him. This Vegito is very good. This damage reduction is awesome with how high his start of turn defense is, and it really does allow him to cut down a lot on the damage. Especially if you get lucky and he's able to get this off first, he is very tanky, right? If he gets supered before he super attacks, he'll take a lot of damage. You won't die, but he will take a lot of damage. But he's able to get this off first, you're looking good. Okay, so next is Full Power Frieza right here. Full Power Frieza, I think, definitely better than Namek Goku. Full Power Frieza is not... I can confidently say now that people were overrating him on release. To be fair, it was a different meta of the game in many ways, right? There's no red zone. There's no bosses that could bully Frieza right away, right? It's like you could get to Tech Super Saiyan 4 Goku at the end of the GT Legendary Goku event. He could bully this Frieza, but a lot of times Frieza could just nuke him before he does anything anyway, right? But now there's red zone bosses. The problem with Frieza, right? He, in my experience, is much better turn 1 than Namek Goku. It's not even close. This guy oftentimes has 200,000 more defense turn 1 than Namek Goku. I don't know what they're thinking with Namek Goku, man. I don't. But the problem with Frieza here is that if you're not getting your 18 key super attacks off to stack that defense, and you lose this first, he will get very weak defensively, and it's a huge issue. I see a better future for this guy right now than Namek Goku. Even though at the time when these units released, I thought Namek Goku is going to age better, but just the way things have gone, I'm flipping on that. I feel like Frieza is going to age better than Namek Goku. I think Frieza is just better in virtually every single way. The one thing you could say, if we're comparing Namek Goku to Frieza, is that Namek Goku right now, right? Where is he? Right here. Every red zone enemy currently is extreme class. So he's getting this key, he's getting the extra attack, right? Which allows him to put up really wicked amounts of damage. One thing that's unfortunate for Namek Goku is that Golden Frieza is not one of the movie stages of Red Zone. There's a lot of movies they skipped over. They could do a second movie, Red Zone, honestly. Because Golden Frieza, I mean, he deserves one, right? And that would help this guy because he get the guaranteed crits the whole time. It would be so awesome. But yeah, I like Full Power Frieza a lot. It's just, right now, Full Power Frieza is one of these characters where it's where do you run him? It's the Terrifying Conqueror team, you are so much better when you just run the full Ginyu Force, and then you just add to it with AGL Golden Frieza or something like that. When you're going into the red zone, you're trying to force on this guy in third form Frieza and stuff like that, they get cut up in red zone, right? These characters, this guy can handle it, but third form Frieza a lot of times cannot. He does take a lot of damage in there, right? So I don't know. I just, in my head, it feels to me like there's a much clearer path to this guy being a dominant force still than Namek Goku. But, this guy does have a 200% leader skill, but it's not a good one. It's not for him. Ginyu's team? Ginyu's team is great, but I don't feel like it's a great setup for full power Frieza. And then Namek Goku doesn't even have a 200%. So we'll see what's gonna happen with these characters. Judging by how bad a lot of these leaders are with most of their team, I think Dokkan is now doing it intentionally, and they're kind of like moving things in a way to where like we're gonna get a lot of different characters on multiple 200% leader skills, and it's just they're really just trying to make each team be built around the leader unit. I think is what they're going for, right? Not giving you a lot of flexibility from the leader unit. So we'll see what happens when this guy gets like a 200%. That's great for him. When Namek Goku gets a 200% as well, right? Okay, so now we get into tricky territory. Next, I have Agl UI Goku, right? Putting him up there. I like Agl UI Goku quite a bit. I think all the reasons he was good and was the best unit in the game last year still hold up, which is the 70% chance to dodge. In Red Zone, there's not many characters that can take these hits. Goku could just dodge them. So, like, you can, put Goku in front of a lot of these hits. Goku can get hit and get killed, just like Namek Goku or Str Vegito. But the difference is that you have a 70% chance to live with UI Goku. Whereas, again, if they super Namek Goku, you lost. If they super Str Vegito, you lost. That's it. Right? UI Goku gives you a much better chance. Now, one thing that does hurt UI Goku, I think it's valid to say, too, is that the hardest fight in the game, the thing that matters the most, UI Goku is not an option because Broly cancels dodge. You can't use UI Goku in there. UI Goku, a lot of times is around like 200k defense. He gets the one dodge off, gets his extra 30%. That's not enough against Broly. This guy's taking, still 200k per normal, right? Well, more, because you're not going to get this off against Broly, right? So this guy's taking like 200, 250k, I think, from like Agl Broly. You just can't run him against him, which sucks. But this guy can carry you through every other Red Zone fight, right? Like there's, again, people... I do feel like a lot of the things I was saying last year that people argue with me about, I ended up being right. UI Goku, y'all will see, man. Whereas a lot of these other characters get exposed as frauds, UI Goku does not. This guy is good. Good. Damage-wise, he's not competing... UI Goku's not competing with a lot of this list in terms of damage. He could do like the triple crit turn and shit like that, right? But I just feel like conditions are usually not built for him super damage-wise. I typically use UI Goku in a defensive manner anyway, not really going for damage, right? Like, Namek Goku is dunking on UI Goku, I feel like, most of the time, damage-wise, for sure. But UI Goku, to me, is very consistent defensively. Now, I don't think the next one will be controversial. So, we have Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, and I'm also going to put Super Saiyan 4 Goku in the same slot right here at number 2. The reason I'm doing this is because I'm not completely convinced that Super Saiyan 4 Goku is better. I'm not. I think Vegeta is actually a better unit, but the problem is that Goku has a 200% leader skill. Goku is on both the LR Super Saiyan 4s, right? GT Hero 200%. GT Hero and Kamehameha, and he's on the gods beyond Super Saiyan and Kamehameha. So Goku is on like the best teams in the game with the literal best units in the game. Oh, by the way, I don't care. I'm cheating and putting them both at number 1 as well. Super Saiyan 4 Goku is on both of these 200% teams. So it's like on these 200% teams, he outperforms Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta because he's got a lot of extra stats to play with. Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta does also have a 200% team, but it's not like a good 200%. Like, it's not a true... The units you want to make this guy look at his best are not on the Vegeta family team, right? Gifted Warriors, the Majin Vegeta team. You want to use this guy with, like, Super Saiyan 4 Goku. So, this guy, I think, if we get a 200% leader skill, that's like... If it's like GT Hero... and then grade 8 power is the 200%, this guy's probably going to look better than LR Super Saiyan 4 Goku, right? Both of them, 200% next to each other, I bet you this guy's better. But as it stands right now, at Super Saiyan 4 Goku performs better than this guy because he's got the 200%. This guy's 200% team doesn't have another GT Super Saiyan 4 on it, which would make this guy look at his best. These two are insane. The active skill they do so much damage right away. Their key mechanic, the thing that's crazy is their key mechanic was buffed after their EZA, whereas the whatchamacallits were not. The 3rd year anniversary fusions did not get their key mechanics buffed, but the LR Super Saiyan 4s did, right? Because see, what's new is they now get an additional key per normal key sphere right here, right? So it's like Vegeta and Goku are getting 3 key for rainbow orbs, and then, you know, whatever their natural, so Vegeta STR, Goku, it's AGL. So Vegeta's getting 4 key from STR orbs and 3 key from rainbow orbs, and then Goku's getting 4 key from AGL and 3 key from rainbow, and then both of them are then getting 2 key from all the other normal type orbs. So it's like they just it feels very easy to me for these two to consistently hit their 18 key super attacks. Vegeta still has a bit of an issue here in that he's only raising defense on his 12 key, whereas the massive defense he's only getting on his 18 key, right? And then Super Saiyan 4 Goku, he's getting the massive defense on both. I think a double supering Super Saiyan 4 Goku is better than anything Vegeta could ever do. But if they're not double supering, Vegeta is probably better with a 200% leader skill if he has access. Because the thing, again, these characters are completely... The thing about these Super Saiyan 4 characters, right? And the reason why I'm not the biggest fan of this guy is like the Vegeta family lead and this guy is the Goku family lead is because they're completely different together. When you have Saiyan Roar, right? Which is... Oh, is it not? Oh, whoops. Does it not, like, just pop up for me? No, it doesn't. What about you? Will yours pop up? No. Okay. Saiyan Roar, what is it? It's like 20% attack and 10% defense or something like that. 25% attack, 10% defense. And then GT is 2 key, 10% attack and defense, right? It's like you get... Damn, I keep accidentally clicking this. But you get all of these like links activated. Super Saiyan, Saiyan Roar, Prepare for Battle, GT, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power. And you see a completely different version of the LR Super Saiyan 4s. So that's the thing about them. And they're... To me, I mean, they help in the red zone so much. One of the big reasons is they are drawing out the full power of this guy. Now, on this right here, I have LR Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta and the LR Gods as number 1. I feel like there's more arguments you can make for Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta as number 1. But a lot of it, I think, has to do with the LR Super Saiyan 4s, right? Who are sharing, 6 out of 7? Like, Super Saiyan 4 Goku has 6 out of 7 with this guy. You're activating everything except for Shocking Speed. So, again, we already went over, like, how much, like, attack and defense all these links are, right? Then this unit, remember that this character and the gods, like, they're nullifying. You have the guaranteed crits and, like, all this that you're doing from their active skills. You have probably the 2 best leader skills in the game, both the gods and Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. It's just, I feel like these characters are, like, they're too similar. Like, I don't know about, like, you know, putting Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta as 1 and, like, the gods as 2. I don't really feel super comfortable doing that. I just feel like the gap between them and anything is too big. If I had to, I would probably say the 3rd best unit in the game is the LR Goku and Gohan, the yellow coin LR. If I had to, right? I think I might potentially have Ginyu competing for that spot as well. I think Ginyu to me does feel up there. But I just think that there's a significant gap between these 7th anniversary LRs and everything else, which is the way it should be. I think that, to me, DOKKANFEST LRs absolutely should be a new standard in power every time they release. I think that a lot of these characters ended up not being good enough. I think Full Power Frieza and Namek Goku were not good enough on release. They should have shit on UI Goku, and they did not on release, right? I think that every one of these DOKKANFEST LRs, like, Tech Gogeta came out, and, like, STR Vegito, when Tech Gogeta came out, like, I feel like STR Vegito was better, right? Because you could take those hits in tough, like, the God event and stuff like that. STR Vegito would get all those counters, And Tech Gogeta doesn't even do like 1/5 of the damage that STR Vegito does. But now the meta has shifted, right? To where Tech Gogeta can, depending upon the situations, take some of these hits. STR Vegito is just completely dead in the water. But Tech Gogeta should landslide victory be better than STR Vegito. It shouldn't even be close. Like the fact that you could even discuss it means they failed, because Tech Gogeta is like a year older than STR Vegito. They should not have been comparable whatsoever. I think the 3rd year anniversary fusions should have been made better as well. I would probably say, as awesome as these guys are and their EZAs are, I almost kind of wish they did not EZA them as well. They're great. They make LR Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta even better, but like, it's just like, you know, like, they already EZA'd. I mean, they're up there. They're like top 10 units in the game, I'd probably say. The LR Super Saiyan 4s, both of them. They really did a lot for Vegeta, I feel. I think because Vegeta's problem was always, if he didn't hit his 18 key, you were in big trouble. But like, they made that easier twofold. First, they made it easier for him to get there, and then they even gave him defense on his 12 key anyway. So that really helps LR Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta compared to where he was prior to his EZA, right? And then he builds up even more defense right there, whereas Goku is only building up extra attack, right? So, let me know what you guys think. This one, again, the TUR one I put up, and it seems like a lot of people were like, yeah, it looks good. This one I could see being much more controversial. Just the way these characters are designed. A lot of people don't like UI Goku, but I mean, dude, I don't know. Try using. My suggestion would be to use him. Should be fairly obvious why he's good if you just like simply use him. I maintain that people's experience of like UI Goku is, you'll go into like the Pure Saiyan or Universal Survival Saga Extreme Super Battle Road stage, and no one can take those hits, but UI Goku can dodge them. So he's better than those other characters. But if UI Goku gets touched, people get this, image of him in their head where he's taking 1,000,000 damage every time. But it's like, the point of that people miss is that those other characters die. They can't even go there. Whereas UI Goku, 70% of the time, you're good, right? Again, Buhan has aged. I feel more comfortable running him than STR Vegito. Again, this is heavily skewered around red zone. Again, no items. Because if you have an item up, STR Vegito can outdamage. Does STR Vegito, is he able to outdamage the 7th anniversary LRs? He can. Dude, some of the, like, Broly. Hold on, let me pull it up. I think Broly hits like 14 times a turn or something like that. The only thing is, like, using STR Vegito against Bro. I mean, you could do it, though, right? Like, you could, if you, like, were able to get to, like, Agl Broly and then, like, double King Yama or something like that, so that, like, Vegito had, like, 100% damage reduction, and then, like, Broly, let's take a look. Broly does 11 attacks. Let's say Broly does like all 11 attacks in slot 1. STR Vegito potentially could outdamage the 7th anniversary LRs. But in order to do all that, you have to have items up, right? So it's like he's, I'm evaluating these characters on items, right? Without needing these extra buffs. Not counting support memories, which are, essentially active skill buffs. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. I do feel good about this. I'm trying to think like Namek Goku, right? Where is he? Right here. Could a character drop that could help this guy? I suppose. If he had like look at what Raccoon and Goldo do for Ginyu, right? Everyone knows how good that unit is now because they're on Global and stuff like that. I'm seeing Global players having so much fun with Ginyu and that busted team. Imagine if Namek Goku had like a Raccoon and Goldo, right? Activating all of his links, maybe, except they'd be supporting Goku a little bit, right? So that Goku could just sort of settle into slot 2 and then, just go crazy. He could be better, but I just feel like they didn't give him enough starter turn defense. Again, after transforming, this guy's really good. Could I put him above full power Frieza? Mate, perhaps. Would I want to do that? Put him above full power? Nah, I'll leave it. I feel like you could put Int Vegito above full power Frieza. I don't think I'd put Int Vegito above UI Goku, though, no. I feel very comfortable with the LR Super Saiyan 4s above UI Goku. I just feel like their Link's damage and defense, it's just too high, too easy, right? And it helps that they're best friends with the definitive, like, #1 up here, right? That helps quite a bit. Tech Gogeta, I feel like is fine. I feel better using Namek Goku than Tech Gogeta, for sure. Again, I'd rather run Tech Gogeta, I feel like, a lot of times than the physical Gogeta. Yeah, I'm good with this. Evolution Blue Vegeta, by the way, down here. 7th anniversary power creep hit him so hard. That little bullshit 10% damage reduction of his is just unusable in these against these tough bosses. He is completely exposed as a fraud now. There's just no doubt about it. And then this unit just sucks balls. Like, no, I'm sorry. I'm not going there. They suck. It doesn't matter at this point. Their stats are just too low now. To make, like, you know, to be, I think, competing with a lot of these characters on here. Nah, definitely not. So, let me know what you guys think about the DOKKANFEST LR list. I'll probably do one. I'm going to upload this at 10 a.m. my time, so in 6 hours from now. And I'll probably do a yellow coin LR one tomorrow. So on the 5th of June, I'll upload a yellow coin one. I feel like that one will be, this is going to be controversial, right? Whereas people, you know, the TUR list, again, a lot of those units are interchangeable anyway. People are going to be so butthurt about Namek Goku, even though, I mean, with eyeballs, you could see that he struggles. I feel like people hate UI Goku, they'd want him down. There's like a group of people who are obsessed with Str Vegito, despite the fact that he gets killed with even one normal, basically. Like, it's insanity. There's just there's no way I'm dropping this and people are sad. It's impossible. These units, there's too much bias, too much BS surrounding all these characters. This one is a nightmare, but I do, like, I'm looking at it right here. I'm not changing anything. I'm very good with this. So let me know what you guys think. Sure, the comments and tweets and stuff will be great on this one. Thanks, guys, for watching. I appreciate y'all. June is pretty dead, so I'll probably be cycling in a lot more stuff like this, because it's going to be a dry month unless the movie stuff comes earlier than anticipated. So thanks, guys, for watching, and I'll catch y'all next time.